Hey everyone, today we'll be joining Cody, Tyler, and Nānea as they tell us a little bit about themselves, how they got to where they are, as well as some biocultural background on ʻāina and some mo'olelo about it as well.
Aloha mai kako, o Cody ko'ukane Pacheco ko'inoa. Aloha, my name is Cody Pacheco and I'm born and raised on Big Island, Hawaii in Pipikeo, on North Hilo district, but I currently reside in Puna, Hawaii right now. And growing up in my life, I was surrounded in a family that went outdoors all the time, hunting and fishing, and my family works in conservation, so after graduating high school, it was just natural for me to pursue a degree at the University of Hawaii at Hilo in environmental studies. And currently, after graduating, I now work at Kaka Foundation for Tropical Forests, where I engage in various different projects, all revolving around conservation. In the future, I see myself still living here in Hawaii and giving back to my community and my forests and my ʻāina, pursuing a degree that allows me to just give back and be grateful for the land that has provided for me and my ohana. Mahalo.
Aloha, o Tyler Uehara ko'inoa. My name is Tyler Uehara. I'm currently living in Pipikeo on the North Hilo district out towards Hamakua. And originally my family is from Waipio, is now currently family name of Alpox, that are still lo'i farmers and born and raised, still have family members that live there full time. And I got into conservation just being surrounded by the outdoors growing up through either hunting, fishing, or just daily work outside. So after high school, I went into a tropical ecosystem and forestry management program at Hawaii CC. Graduated from that, and I'm currently going for my bachelor's in tropical plant science. And while doing full-time school, I'm working with Akaka Foundation in various projects, and my hopes is to go anywhere into the conservation field where I can continue to give back, either here on island or anywhere here in the Hawaiian Islands. Just no plans yet. And yeah, mahalo.
Aloha pumehana kako, o Nānea ko'inoa, no hilo mai au. O Manakea ku'umauna, o Waiuli ku'ukai. Aloha wau I Kamokupunia, Hawaii. Aloha, my name is Nānea, and I was born and raised here in Hilo, Hawaii. Being brought up in such a beautiful environment, naturally my family spent a lot of time outdoors. So as a kid, when I was young, I spent a lot of time fishing with my dad or hiking with my mom and my brothers. And so I grew up just loving the outdoors, our ʻāina, and everything that the natural world has to offer. And so, having that upbringing and the beautiful ʻāina that we live on, I ended up pursuing a degree at the University of Hawaii at Hilo in environmental science and with minors in history and Hawaiian culture. Today, I currently work at the Akaka Foundation for Tropical Forestry, and I work on a variety of conservation-related research projects that work to learn more about our ʻāina and continue to sustain it and conserve the beautiful things our ʻāina has to offer. And so in the future, I want to continue on this path, always learning more about the ʻāina and working to support our ʻāina and appreciate all the things it has to offer us. Mahalo.
Uluka ohia alau kovai, which also translates to the ohia grows and there is plenty of water. This olelo no'eau is referencing the important relationship which is found within our environment. Our ohia trees act as pillars within our Hawaiian forests and communities. They can be found throughout the Hawaiian Islands and have many different uses. For example, a hula person may use ohia to adorn themselves in song and dance. Hunters, lawaiʻa, and other gatherers commonly use the ohia as a source of firewood for its long-lasting flame. Agroforesters and farmers may use ohia to restore depleted soils and provide canopy cover for understory species, creating healthy ecosystems. You may also hear the ohia in mo'olelo or ka'ao, or also known as stories that have been passed down through generations. Such stories may include kuka ohia laka.
Kuka ohia laka is a ka'ao or a legend that tells the story of a brother, Kuka ohia laka, and his sister, Kaua Kuahiwi. They were both gods who came from the ancestral homeland of Kahiki and settled on the island of Hawaiʻi. Kuka ohia laka, the brother, decided to settle near the coast in Kea'au with his wife so that he could gather fish, seaweed, salt, and other resources from the ocean. His sister, Kaua Kuahiwi, decided to settle in the uplands of Ola'a with her husband and children so that they could have a garden and grow various vegetables and other food plants to sustain their family. Kuka ohia laka and Kaua Kuahiwi were very close as siblings and always made sure to mālama or take care of one another. Kuka'ohi'alaka would supply fish to Kauakuahiwi's family, and in turn, Kauakuahiwi would trade him for her vegetables. One day, Kuka'ohi'alaka went on a fishing trip and instructed his wife to give Kauakuahiwi fish when she came to visit. Sure enough, Kauakuahiwi came to visit, ready to share with vegetables in hand, but Kuka'ohi'alaka's wife was a jealous woman and decided to hide the fish he had left under a mat, so Kauakuahiwi would think they had no fish to trade. Kauakuahiwi left with only seaweed given to her by her brother's wife. Kauakuahiwi went home, but came back the following day with more vegetables to share, only to be given seaweed yet again by Kuka'ohi'alaka's wife. Kauakuahiwi returned home to her husband and her children in despair, as she only had seaweed to give to them. As they came out to greet her, she transformed her husband and children into rats and herself into a spring of water. While Kuka'ohi'alaka was out fishing, the gods revealed to him how selfish his wife had been and the fate of his beloved sister and her family. Kuka'ohi'alaka quickly went to his sister's home in Ola'a, only to find the spring of water and rats scampering about where their house once stood. In tears, Kuka'ohi'alaka jumped into the spring and was transformed into a great big ohia tree. It is said that to this day, the ohia tree of Kuka'ohi'alaka lives on alongside his sister, Kauakuahiwi. They both continue to grow and flow and give life to those around them.
Ohia lehua is the most abundant and ecologically important native tree species of Hawaii and holds significant biological and cultural value. They are often among the first plants to colonize fresh lava substrate and are therefore instrumental in the process of soil development and ecological succession. Ohia trees make up the largest portion of the canopy in native wet forests. They provide shelter and food for numerous native birds, including the endemic Hawaiian nectar-feeding honey creepers such as the apapane and iiwi, as well as innumerable insects and snails. Their trunks act as nurse logs, supplying nutrients, water, and protection for native seedlings and epiphytes. Their canopies capture mist and rainwater that replenish our island aquifers, which provide drinking and irrigation water for Hawaii's communities and the agricultural sector. Ohia are woven deeply into Hawaiian culture through symbology in mo'olelo or stories, mele songs, and oli or chants. Ohia serve as the sacred kinolau or physical manifestation of multiple Hawaiian deities such as Ku, the god of war, Laka, the goddess of hula, Pele, the goddess of the volcano, and Hi'iaka, the sister of Pele, and Kane, god of water. It is important that we continue to protect and preserve our ohia forests so that future generations can appreciate their key role in our Hawaiian forests.